Shalom, how you doing? Today I'd like to talk to you about, I'd like to address a common mistake or a misconception which many people seem to have, which is about the people, the ancestors of the ancestors in the ancient times. In the ancient civilization, the ancient sages had no concept of the high God or supreme being or supreme reality, an ultimate reality. But in fact it is the opposite. In ancient systems, in the Chaldean system for example, the concept of the high gods, there is a concept of the high gods being called fathers and addressed as fathers in the text and in the liturgy and so on. In the ancient times, this word father is the Akkadian abum. In Canaanite it is ab or av. In Aramaic it is abba. Now this word father is represented by the Sumerian sign ad, which means father but means the supreme as well. In certain texts like the fathers of the ancient system, it is no different from the way the high gods were known to the people in those days. Now this corresponds to the one, it is once transcendent. This ad, it is above all material creation and encompasses all divinity. And so when people talked about invoke the fathers in the ancient hymns, they're in fact referring to the older. They're referring to the supreme, to the ad, the father. Why then was ad not invoked in hymns and prayers in ancient cities, for example in Ibla, Mari, Ugrit, Jericho, Megiddo, Gebal? The reason is because ad is not worshipped. Why? Because there is no reason to worship ad. It cannot answer prayers or fulfill any kind of hopes that people might be wanting or praying for. Why is that? Well, because ad is not separate. It is one with all things in the cosmos. There is no distinction, and therefore no reason to worship it, and no reason for the ancients to worship it either, because it is one with all things, and therefore does not answer prayers or fulfill them in any way. It is only in later philosophy that it becomes popular to talk about ad, such in texts such as the Chaldean oracles, which are composed around the 2nd century AD in Syria, which refer to ad regularly. So it is not invoked in hymns because it is transcendent. It is one with all things in the cosmos, with the gods, with the mortals, the beings, the humans. It's the first, the ultimate, because before all else, before there is multiplicity, there must be singularity. This is the singularity which unites all things together in the cosmos, and because of that it is known as the uniting force in the cosmos. And so it's not important in daily religion or rituals, in the liturgy and the hymns, etc., etc. And it's one with all things, with the cows, the goats, the trees, the rivers, the rocks, the stars, and the things with the soul. Because there's some things which you need, and the ensoulment comes from the high God. It comes from the supreme. It comes from ad, including your own ensoulment is from them as well. But remember always to keep ad different from the divinities, from the Elohim. Ad is beyond all that. Ad is beyond the divinities. It's not one of the Elohim. It is not part of the Elohim. Ad is beyond all that. By all means worship the gods, the divinities, such as El, Milqat, Reshep, Atarata, the great goddess, and Shemesh, the sun goddess, is also worshipped as well. But remember, keep them different from Ad. None of them is Ad. Any more than one colour on a light spectrum is the same as white light in itself. None of them is the same as white light. Therefore, no god, no divinity from the Elohim, be it El, the creator, be it Milqat, the great protector of the universe and purifier of the universe from evil and from demons, or Rishab, the fiery destroyer, Atarata, the great goddess, or Shemesh, the sun goddess, who is chief, I suppose, of the planets in astrology. None of these is the same as Ad. Okay. Now, during prayer and meditation, it's possible to feel at one with all things in the cosmos. Then you can merge with Ad. Some sages merge with Ad several times in their lifetimes and experienced awakening in consciousness and bliss. But it became increasingly harder to do this as the periods of ignorance began to spread over the earth. Sometime in what we call the early medieval period, I suppose. Okay, thank you for listening. Shalom.